How are you today?
Yeah, doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay. Alright. Ram, my name is Sharanya. Um, I take care of technology function here at Wells Fargo.
Okay.
I have a few teams that work for me, and one of the teams are architecture team,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's required to roll out the cloud strategy for Wells Fargo.
Okay.
Um, so we're looking for some person who has experience in cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So and can add value to this team.
Okay.
Um, can you maybe describe about your experience? I think you have 10 years of experience. Right now you're working in persistent,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. So you're working in persistent from August.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, and then now you're trying to look for a change again.
No, it's not like that. The my company was moved. The project was moved to persistent system, and the companies also got merged. And I will get a relieving letter whenever I have joined as persistent. Right. That's the reason I have mentioned that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so from Compute Gain you went to persistence.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay. So can you talk about your cloud experience and your current project and where are you working?
Yeah, my project is an ARP, Airline Catering System. It's international ERP using by the number of international airports. We have hosted our application in APAC, LATAM, EMEA, and North America too. Basically, I was working as a lead role to contributing myself along with my individual tasks. I am the center of excellence team, a part of team to do the POCs in terms of latest cloud technologies to resolve the problem statement for a particular the project or other projects in our organization too. This is what my tech stack, and coming to Azure side, I have a good exposure on AKS and App Insights, Keyword Services, Azure Storage Accounts, and to use that different databases like Azure Cosmos DB and table storages too. Apart from that, I have exposure on Azure App Functions and different triggers implemented by using the app functions, and I have good exposure on CI/CD as well as Azure DevOps too in my current organization. Apart from that, I am going for an architect certification in next couple of months, AG at the 305 certification. Um, I have a good exposure on Azure templates, yeah, ARM templates to make infrastructure as a code to build different versions of the infrastructure quickly, kind of thing. This is what the Azure side. This Azure side, which we are using in terms of we are migrating from .NET MVC application to .NET Core, which was developed 10 years back, and we have to focus on the migration part in terms of how to migrate of the single monolith application to the microservices application to make a better scalable, better performance, and yeah, it's a very good exposure because I have 5 years of experience in this project. I know in and out of the flow as well. I have completed
Okay.
MCA at Charanagaj University, and yeah, I was good exposure on all the .NET tech stack. Saranya.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Do you code? How actively do you code? Say how much percentage of your day goes in coding?
50% of the coding, and 30% is on the Azure side, and 20% on the management side. Saranya.
Okay. This role, let me tell you, is 100% coding and Azure management. Okay. Yeah. Nothing to do with people.
Yes, yeah, right. No problem.
Um, the other thing is, okay, let me give you a scenario. Okay. So you are required to migrate a particular uh, application to cloud. Okay. What are the things that you would consider? Okay. Definitely, we have to consider as in Azure point of view whether we can who is going to maintain, whether the Azure is going to maintain, or whether the public infrastructure or private infrastructure kind of thing. It's a kind of if you have public infrastructure, right? Let's assume that I have an application which we want to convert as a microservice. We have two ways to host our application. We can use that Azure Kubernetes services by using the pods and nodes, and Azure providers will take care. Other than that, we can able to take as platform as a service. They will give us only the platform as a VMs, and I will host our all the whatever the required softwares like Docker desktop and all the information we can able to host it. Yeah, it depends on the what are the requirement in terms of the company side. The requirements come from the client side. We don't want to go with the Azure, or we can ready Azure ready infrastructure. Then we can also use SaaS as a like a platform as a service. Okay, what else, right? Yeah. Trying to migrate the legacy into Azure. What are the other different things you would consider? We need to consider as. That is okay. We want to use public or not, yeah, right? Hybrid or private, but what other things? We have to be considered in terms of tech stack, which tech stacks we are going to be used, whether we have the like latest versions of the .NET Core, and the tech stack is one of the. Say it is a Microsoft application. Yeah, right? Yeah, and we need to think about what is an existing functionality first. Understand that existing functionality, how it is implementing. Do we have any complexities there to use the any of the background services are there? We have to clearly understand to how to convert those background services into the Azure ready infrastructure, and we have to check whether. Okay. Okay, let me tell you an example. Okay, we are having order entry system. Okay, right, where we enter orders like, for different categories or whatever, and then it will persist into a database. Okay, or so how would you go about designing this? What are the different aspects you would consider? Um, we have to consider the as an user friendly point of view in terms of user maybe enter into from responsiveness from UI or responsiveness from the mobile. That is a design perspective, but the application has to be scalable, like the more number of requests coming from the users kind of thing. It should not getting into the performance implication side, or it should not break an existing application if the more load into coming into the picture. That is in terms of the performance wise. In terms of scalable wise, it has to be considered as auto scaling up options in terms of manual scaling or automatical scaling to apply the some rules. These are all the things in terms of performance wise. In terms of coding wise, we have to be considered in such a way that it has to be a more reusable and more in terms of if you use the solid principles. I can say if any of the new functionalities in coming to the future, I don't want to change of existing thing. I don't want to modify, and I can able to extend that existing class, and I will write our own functionality to satisfy the requirement kind of thing. And the same thing. Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me how would you do you think a microservices applies everywhere? How would you go about designing microservices? It's I can't say it's an 100%. It's it's case to case. If you use the microservices, some of the times we are also facing an issue in terms of communicating between the two microservices, and if one of the services goes down, we have to maintain in terms of circuit breaker and all the things. It's not a blindly approach to go with the microservices. It's a case to case of the project
we need to understand the problem statement to clearly, and we have to provide some sort of solution, whether we can go with the microservices. We can also host our application into the Azure app services to make a more number of scale set, like that. It's a case to case.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, while we are at that, right, what are the different ways that microservices can communicate in Azure?
Different ways in Azure, we can have that logic apps. We can able to communicate with each other.
Is Logic App used for communication?
No, no, no. We can able to use that logic app for, like, if we have the distributed transactions.
Okay.
And
What else? What is the underlying communication mechanism of the Logic App? Logic App is like a framework, right?
Yeah, yeah. Can you repeat the question, Saranya? Like, what are the services in Azure? Okay.
Okay. What are the different ways two microservices can communicate with each other in an Azure environment?
By using the services, like we have a YAML file, right? In the YAML, we have the services. Each services is having an endpoint. Based on the endpoint, it will be trying to identify which services it has to be communicate or load balancing.
Okay. What are the methods, right? The communication protocols. I don't know.
Okay, so you mean to say HTTP REST protocol, or?
But within Azure, okay.
Maybe the question was, I was not able to grasp it. Maybe we can use asynchronous communication between the two services by using.
Okay, fine, but okay, correct, right? So asynchronous is one way. So how do you implement asynchronous communication in Azure?
Yeah, by using Azure Service Bus, we can able to use by using the queues and topics, and we can apply the some.
What else?
By using Event Hub. Event Hub also we can able to do that one, and we can also use the function app to something is happening on the service bus. The function app will trigger and will process it. The small macro services.
Okay. Can you tell me when, in which scenario you use what kind of communication?
Yeah, Event Hub I can use in terms of the data. So, like, sequence of the data we are getting into the series of data. It's not only for the packet kind of thing or the message kind of thing. I will go with the Event Hub. If it is a service bus, we have that one-to-one or one-to-many communication. Like, subscriber will subscribe the message to one queue or topic. Whatever the topic will have the subscriber, they will be able to get in that messages, and they will, based on the header properties, based on the message properties, the subscriber will subscribe it and will process it. That is one way. And we can also use that Azure storage account queues, but there is some data limitation and that format limitation. These are all the things we have to consider as the endpoint user perspective. We don't want to bother about that data limit. Then we can go with the Event Hub or Azure Service Bus or queues.
Okay, all right. Have you used containers?
Yeah.
Have you worked with? All right. So, what kind of containers have you worked on? What is the type of work you did on it?
We have used like our .NET Core application will give as a container like Windows is a kind. It will give as an image. We will give as an input image to that AKA service. The service will be move this the images to as a container, and it will the container will be communicate by using the ingress or outgress based on the service, like service.ml or deployment.ml.
Okay. How extensively have you used K8?
I can say like 50 to 60%.
Okay. What features have you used in that?
We have used the deployments and we have used the services ingress and Helm chart, and we have used the Prometheus tool to identify that logs and getting the logs from the whatever the one of the services are getting failed, we need to get it. And we have used the
Okay.
volumes, persistent volume claim to make the persistent data if we have the communicate between the different microservices. uh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. We because of I'm the part of COE team, we are doing that POCs too with the Azure as well as different other frameworks.
Okay. How do you implement security?
Yeah, security can be implemented by using the identity service, which has been implemented by using the identity server for .NET Core, and it has having the jar token was implemented, and the jar token will have that the claims and the resources is he's having an access based on the claim and the resources. We will be able to OAuth 2 and OpenID Connect we have used to provide the security while we are getting an access to a particular service.
Okay. All right. Do you know anything about TLS?
Uh, domain name security, domain name server,
TLS. TLS. T for
TLS. I heard that one, but
yes.
I haven't used. I heard.
Really? Have you used certificates
Yeah,
for
certificates. Yes, yeah.
authentication?
In AD we have we have one. We have done now. We have completed one POC. Like we have created a certificate in Azure AD. The certificate has to be against to that application which was registered in Azure Application Service. The Azure, if you want to access that service, we need to get the token. We need the token is having the secret information and all the information. Then we will be able to communicate with all the services in a particular service.
Okay. What is a protocol then? That's what I was asking.
Mm-hmm.
What is the security protocol? The transport layer security protocol used. Any idea?
Um, no, no. I was not able to
Okay.
hear express,
Sorry,
but yeah.
don't worry, I will repeat. Okay. Suppose you're trying to connect to a particular Azure storage.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm,
Right.
mm-hmm.
I want you to find out. Okay, if it is supporting TLS 1.2. Okay. Right. Do you know how to go about doing it?
I heard the TLS 1.0 and 2.0, and while we are connecting as a web client, we are configuring what are the settings we have to connect it, but no idea how to configure and how to work it. No idea.
TLS 2.0, are you saying?
Yeah, TLS 2.0 is already also there. In the one of API is consuming from the client, we have provided as a web client settings TLS 2.0 also there.
Okay. Do you think Azure offers everything, or there is you also have to go back and research and see if there's a particular thing that's supported or not?
I think 90% will support.
Okay, fine. Do you know what is DRAG? DRAG.
No idea.
Detection, remediation, audit, and governance.
No idea. Audit and governance, I
Say,
know. In terms of
okay,
yeah, each of the services they have that the particular log, and they will be able to track that audit of a particular service who has been perform an operation on what time, like if someone is restarted and someone is stop that application. And the governance in terms of the user management, role management, and policy management will come into the governance.
okay, fine. Can you tell me how monitoring and logging is implemented in Azure? What are the different ways?
Yeah, we can use the Azure App Insight to get
Okay,
us monitor and logging. We have that each survey. If you consider as app services and functional, we'll have the logins. If you go to the
okay,
monitor, we will be able to see that logs, and those logs will be saved into the on the file. Whenever we need, we will be getting that file, and we will be able to track it. In terms of
okay,
infrastructure wise, in terms of application wise, also we will be able to get it. And we have
okay,
third party in terms of other tool like Elastic. We can able to find out of the logging information.
okay. or any other things other than App Insights?
I have used the App Insight only, but
Okay. You don't know of any other options?
I don't know.
Okay. Have you heard about log analytics?
Yeah, log analytics is one of the log analytics I have. I know it. I haven't used it. In the theoretical, I know it. What is the use of log analytics?
Okay. All right. Okay. What are the different types of compute available in Azure? Compute.
Means
Like function.
uh-huh.
Function is a type
Function
of
app. You
compute,
are
right?
function app, right?
Yeah.
Function app is
Yeah. Yeah.
computing service and storage account and app services.
Storage account, is it a compute?
Um,
Like function is a compute, app
and
service is a compute.
and service bus is also a
Compute
compute.
means
Yeah, compute. What
okay,
are all the
service bus.
resources under the category, right?
Yes. What
Mm-hmm.
are the different ways of computing? Compute means processing.
Mm-hmm. Like event hub, service bus, function app, and web app. Mhm.
Okay. Event bus, service bus is about communicating, right? I am talking only about compute and processing power.
Okay, like the VMs also come to the computing.
Yes.
Yeah, and the database service is also uh, coming to the computing part. Database service,
Okay.
online like database service, SQL server and other thing.
I wouldn't. So what is the serverless compute in Azure?
Yeah,
Serverless.
okay. Serverless computing in terms of we don't want to bother about how the which one of the OS and what is the infrastructure, how the RAM and ROM the facilities. If we don't want
Correct.
to bother about the scaling up or scaling down and taking the backups and all the things, someone will be
Right.
taking care behalf of the uh, like we don't want to take care of all the things. The provider will take care and they will be provide us they will give us the cost whatever the resources we are using
Okay. How do you implement that in Azure?
by using
What's it called?
function app.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Azure functions. Yeah.
Yeah, Azure
Okay.
functions we can implement, and they will be able to host our application based on the app service plan we have selected, and they will be able to host
Okay.
into the dedicated mission. It's not a dedicated mission; it's a shared mission, and we don't know whether it is shared or dedicated one. This that app will be highly applicable, highly available and run, and we don't want to bother about the networking and infrastructure and all the power kind of all the issues. We don't want to bother.
Okay. All right. Other than AKS, is there any other thing that is used to manage the containers in
Azure,
Azure?
Azure, we have a container instance also there. We can able to host our images into the Azure container instance, and we can able to do that.
Okay. All right. Talking about ACS.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Okay. So I think I'm done with my discussion, right? I have a couple of more questions for you.
Mhm.
Okay. So you are currently at Persistence,
Mhm.
right? Systems. Are you currently serving notice period?
Yeah,
Okay. When is your last working day?
25th.
Of January.
Yeah,
Okay.
January. Yeah,
All right. That means you might be holding an offer at hand.
yeah,
Okay. Can I know what the offer is?
yeah. Yeah, it's 46.
Okay. All right. Okay. You're based out of Hyderabad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions for me?
I want to know what is the exactly your expectation. If everything is goes well, then only uh, I can able to
My expectation.
yeah, expectation in terms of the tech stack as well as the project the requirement.
Okay, the tech stack is not. This is an architecture role.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we will be doing cloud architecture and integration architecture, but mainly cloud architecture for about 1,000 applications across our line of business, right? Which is called enterprise functions technology. I don't know if you heard about how banks work. There are lines of businesses.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so ours is enterprise function technology, and within that there are about 1,000 or more apps. Okay, so this team is required to do the architecture, design, POC for the various different apps, right? All 1,000 apps won't be same, right? Each one will have its own different flavor. Okay,
Correct. Exactly.
so this team is responsible for the architecture, design, and cloud strategy to initiate that and push it through for all these apps. Okay.
Okay.
So some people might be using plain vanilla, whatever, maybe they have to migrate that and suggest to them, and also everything manpower that's provided. Okay. But then the design decisions, POC, and all this team is.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Uh, that's it. That's all, Saranya. Thanks for the info. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other concerns or any other questions related to the job?
Yeah, job wise, as part of my expectation is matching. As part of the discussion, like I was the part of the center of excellence team to do the POCs, the same role, and my aspiration is to be architect. In the next couple of months, I am going with the architect certification. Maybe this my knowledge will be helpful in our project as well as I will get it as more knowledge to get it as certified too. That's what I'm expecting.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm good with the your detailed information, Serena.
Okay. All right then, Ram. We'll get back to you on the next steps. Okay.
Sure, Serena. Thanks for your time.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.